It's Friday, February 18th, 2022, and the morning edition is live. On today's show, the 2021 crime stats released. We introduce you to a talented photojournalist. It's that time again to flaunt your red noses to support efforts to rid hunger. And we've got a few tips to help save the battery in your vehicle. So let's start the morning off right.
The Morning Edition is brought to you by We Buy You Sell Company, your leading hurricane impact windows, doors, and tile specialist.
Well, thank God it's Friday. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Morning Edition. I'm LaDawn Davis.
And I'm just looking forward to this day from Monday. Yes, it's Friday. Good morning, everybody. I'm Charles Fisher. It's a busy weekend ahead.
Yes,
I think
definitely.
I'm going to rest this weekend. No Super Bowl to go to. Midterms. We're on the midterm. And the best of all, I don't have no money, so don't have nowhere to go.
So you're not taking Charlie
No,
anywhere?
I'm going to just rest this weekend. Watch some college basketball, watch some movie, catch up on some stuff like that, and just chill.
Just chilling.
Yeah, just chill. Time to rest this young old body.
Yeah, old as in what? 50 plus? 39?
Let's talk about the show. You're trying to give out my age. I'm just a shade under 40. Trying to give out my age here on a Friday, but we have a great show in store.
Yes.
Entertainment
We have
Friday.
Dyson Knight. He's
Tyson
in the
is
house
talking.
this morning.
I wonder if I could be a
Yes.
part of this song he's going to sing. Something but touch your toes, but I don't know if I could.
Oh boy, looks like we're gonna need some Bengay. I could have some Bengay back there.
It's Battery Day, and I also have, it's Cabbage Day, so we have some interesting stories in store for our viewers.
It's also Red Nose
Red
Day.
Nose. How come you're not wearing your red nose today?
I'm gonna,
You normally
don't let the cat out of the bag just yet.
But
Yeah,
let's let
have that
something
coming
out the bag, then let's take it over to our Crystal Darling out there with our morning traffic as we head into the weekend.
Crystal.
Good morning, Fisher, and good morning, LaDawn. We're here at the roundabout by Wolf and Marathon Road. And I'm here this morning with Officer Patrick Kim. Good morning, how are you?
Good morning, Crystal. Good morning, Bahamas.
Okay, so we're here at a very interesting point. We noticed that you come out of single lanes here, but you on the roundabout has double lanes. So could you explain to us how this works?
Well, in the area of Wolf Road and Jerome Avenue, roundabout here, this roundabout, Crystal, is a little bit different than the other roundabouts that we usually that we're familiar with. All right, when you enter into this roundabout, you will exit into a single lane. And we have had 1 or 2 accidents here where persons who thought they might have been right for the accident turned out to be wrong because of the misuse of the roundabout. I'll give you an example. If you're traveling in the northern direction of Marathon and your intention is to go Jerome Avenue, you should be in that outer lane, that far left lane. That will either take you west on Wolf Road or north on Jerome Avenue. If you're in the inner lane, you must go around the roundabout to head in the eastern direction on Wolf Road or loop back around onto Marathon. All right.
And we know that we have quite a bit of traffic signals in this area and road markings. Could you just give us a summary of what these diagonal lines on the road mean at each break in the roundabout?
Well, as you have noticed in the last few interviews, we've always been touching on the street markings and road signs and what's not. It's very important because persons tend to misread those, or they're just not unaware. With that being said, I just want to say to the road users, please, they are free. The highway codes of the Bahamas, you can read it online and you can get to learn these for yourselves. Okay, it's very important. But the hatch line that you're referring to, that there is a no drive zone. Okay, you should not be in those hatch lines, overtaking or parking. Persons enter parking doors on the streets. That's a no-no. All right. And when it concerns utilizing any road markings, you ought to know before you make a mistake and cause an accident. I just want to give an example. Where there are double solid lines in the streets, that indicates to you that you do not overtake. Where there's a solid line, you don't overtake. Now, if it is a break in the lines, it is letting you know that it's safe for you to overtake. These are some of the things that you should know when traveling through the streets.
And we also know that there are some people who tend to switch lanes in a roundabout. Is that a no-no?
Well, Crystal, it's probable that persons can make a mistake, right? And if you realize that you're in the wrong lane, like I said, just exercise good judgment and common sense. Put your signal on. Check properly to make sure that your way is clear for you to make a maneuver to exit out of the roundabout. Some persons, without a care in the world, they just tend to just make a turn. They just will cut right across the other vehicle, collision occurs, and obviously we have to come and investigate to clean up the matter.
Okay, thank you so much for that this morning, Officer Kemp. Back to you in the studio, Fisher and LaDon.
As we are waking up to 70 degrees, mostly sunny, winds south-southeast at 5 miles per hour. Very hot, humidity at 100%. Now, surface ridge extending from a robust high-pressure system northeast of the area continues to retreat eastwards, allowing winds and marine conditions to gradually improve across the island chain throughout tonight. For all areas, weather partly to mostly sunny, warm and a bit breezy, with the chance of an isolated shower or two today. Mostly fair tonight. Today's high temperature 84 degrees Fahrenheit, overnight low of 68. For you weekenders, this is how it's going to look. Mostly sunny on Saturday, 81 in the day, 70 at night. And then on Sunday, breezy, expect an afternoon shower, same 80 in the day, 69 at night.
Prime Minister the Honorable Philip Davis QC weighing in on the Auditor General's scathing report into the Bahamas Travel Health Visa Program, which was implemented under the Minnis administration and lays out several violations of the country's financial laws. The nation's chief says these are some of the same concerns the Progressive Liberal Party had while in opposition.
Our concerns expressed while in opposition about the travel visa and how it was implemented is now being manifested in what the report reveals. It doesn't end there. I'm advised that further investigations on those findings will continue, and we'll see where it leads.
A high-level national gender-based violence law review forum is underway here in the capital, having already tabled domestic legislation since taking office. The Prime Minister further pledged its government support.
My government will continue to legislate and advance public policies to achieve these objectives. We have passed a landmark legislation in this country that furthered the cause of equality and implemented progressive policies which furthered inclusion and justice. But we have much more to do. Clearly, the recommendations that emerge after this three-day forum will be very important to the formulation of new public policies.
The government looking to Middle East for help in reducing the rising fuel costs sparked by the global challenge of inflation. This as global reports suggest that the cost of living is rising to new highs, causing new hardships.
We recognize that higher prices in food, higher prices in fuel, higher prices in goods coming into the country are all linked to one key thing: fuel, the rising oil prices. And what Prime Minister Davis has been able to strategically do is to begin a discussion with the Saudi Arabian government of how we can work a network to access oil from them, to access fuel from them, so that it will cut down on the overhead costs coming into the country.
2021 was a challenging year for the Royal Bahamas Police Force. The preliminary figures are in, and Commissioner Paul Rolls shared them during a Meet the Press session on Thursday.
Victims between the ages of 18 and 35 represented 64% of all homicides. Retaliation and conflicts were the most common motives, representing 45% collectively. Fatal gunshot wound was the leading cause of death for homicides, accounting for 104 of those incidents. We were able to solve 56% of all homicides.
A health scare at a local private school leaves more than 24 students ill, drawing the attention of the Royal Bahamas Police Force. While it's too early to tell what was behind the scare, Police Press Liaison Officer Superintendent Audley Peters confirmed that 13 males and 8 females were taken to hospital to seek medical attention.
It appears that the students might have ingested some food or some items that were in a package. And so at that time, we identify what that item was, what are these things that were ingested, and we'll be able to give a formal statement as to the reason for being taken to the hospital.
People Bahamas group of companies is celebrating women in technology. We're taking this opportunity to pause and highlight the leading ladies in information, communication, and technology who are breaking stereotypes and shattering glass ceilings. We hope you'll join us in honoring the tremendous girl power that keeps our community connected.
Before the midterm break begins, red teas and sponge noses fill the St. Anne's Auditorium to commemorate Red Nose Day. It's the dream of founder and head girl of St. Anne's, Caden Smith, to eradicate hunger across this country through this global initiative. We caught up with the graduating senior to talk about the event this year, despite the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic.
The Bahamas Red Nose organization is an organization that was started by me after seeing a man eating out of a trash and wanting to make a difference. So my organization's aim is to eradicate hunger in the Bahamas. This year, Red Nose Day is celebrated February 18th, but due to midterm, my school celebrated it on the 16th with a grand assembly under the theme, The Power of Giving. We had numerous performances to coincide with the theme and a special guest speaker, Senator Maxine Seymour, who spoke so diligently on the topic and encouraging our students to give. With this being my 7th year, this just made the year so much better and a great experience.
Good to see that you put on your red nose. Now you're probably wondering, what is this? This is a head of cabbage. That's what they call it. And today is Cabbage Day. You know what cabbage is good for? Do you use it when you're cooking?
Yeah, coleslaw, steamed cabbage, corned beef.
And I'm going to just give this away to anybody. Any of our viewers, if you want to call in, you could come in and you can pick this up cabbage, because it's National Cabbage Day. That plant you love to put in your slaws has its own day. I know many of you don't know that, and don't be ashamed. Sidney Sinclair, owner of Down to Earth Adventures Farm on Carpenter Road, was surprised himself when he visited that farm that has been in existence for 19 years.
To tell you the truth, no, I didn't know it was a cabbage day.
Rows and rows of cabbage just ready for the picking.
Each one of this row will hold about 1,500 cabbage. Okay, most of those vegetables are 90-day crops. You'll keep it in the seedling tray for about a month, and then you'll put it in the ground, and it'll take about 2 months before it matures.
How do you know when it's ready?
Well, you look at the head, and you'll notice that it's nice and full.
Its health benefits is packed with nutrients, may help keep inflammation in check, is packed with vitamin C, helps improve digestion, may help with your heart healthy, may lower blood pressure, help lower cholesterol levels, and is an excellent source of vitamin K.
Well, cabbage have a lot of vitamins and minerals. Most of the greens do. A lot of vitamins and minerals.
Keeping them fresh and ready for the plate takes tender, loving care.
We'll have to spray the cabbage every week to try to keep the bugs off of them and the white flies. And then, you fertilize it. You give them their little plant food, give them what they need to be able to grow.
I see green cabbage and purple as well. What's the difference?
Color.
So is cabbage a big seller at the farm?
Man, everybody love cabbage, man. You know the coleslaw and thing on Sunday, man. Everybody uses that every Sunday, man. Yeah, and then the purple cabbage, they use the purple cabbage for the coleslaw to really actually give it the color.
And hey, in case you didn't know, cabbage is also a delicacy for rabbits.
Well, the rabbits like other vegetables, especially the carrots.
Now, we talked about the purple cabbage and we talked about the green cabbage. Do you know the difference between a cabbage and a lettuce?
It's smaller in size, and the leaves are smaller.
You Google that?
No,
I don't. Do you know the difference between a broccoli and a cabbage?
Yeah, I know the difference.
Get back to the next story.
It's National Battery Day, and this morning, Crystal Darling gets a few pointers on what you can do to better maintain the battery in your vehicle.
Whether it's gas-powered, a hybrid, or electric, every car needs a battery. And knowing how to take care of that battery the proper way is beneficial to your vehicle. Automall technical trainer and service manager Lenny Henderson describes the polarity, a mistake often made by customers who independently install their car batteries.
With a negative terminal, you've got a positive terminal, and often the customer will put them the wrong way around. Once you've done that, then there's a possibility for huge damage to control units, possibly even a fire, sparks. That's one of the biggest tips I can give to anybody. If you're going to change your battery, make sure red goes to positive and black goes to negative.
As for how long the car battery lasts, Henderson says the rule of thumb is 3 to 5 years, and he explains why the date on the battery should be checked before purchase.
Some batteries, you got to imagine, dealerships like ourselves, some of the outlets here, they'll have batteries in stock, but they might have been sitting on the shelves for 1 year. So the battery's now already 1 year old. I would always check, and you want to be within a month, 2 months of it being new, and that is actually stamped on the side of the battery.
Henderson says when cars are brought in for servicing, battery tests are standard.
Every time the vehicles come to us, we do a thorough check. The technicians have got checklists, and we always do a battery test, and we have a printout for the battery test. The reason being for that is it gets attached to the repair order. That's for our history. So we test batteries at every service.
And with electric and hybrid vehicles on the rise, Henderson says batteries in new motor vehicles tend to last a bit longer than the traditional.
The world is now transitioning to electric cars, there's no question. The manufacturers are bringing the costs down, which is good news, and we're getting longer warranties now as well. We're seeking and hoping to get 8 to 10 years now with Toyota. Previous to that, it was 3 years. Then we kind of did our own thing and made it up to 5 years. You're going to buy it with confidence because you're not going to think, in a few years I need to buy a battery, which are expensive. As I said, the prices are coming down, but the warranties are going up, so it's a good package.
Garbage Day, Battery Day, and guess what else today is? Drink Wine Day.
My favorite.
It's just a reminder to drink wine. Wine does have its own benefit after all. Moderate drinkers of wine have lower risk of liver disease, type 2 diabetes, certain kinds of cancers, heart attack, and stroke. I guess you'll be having a little sip later on when you get
a lot of sips.
Later on, but you can't do it on the job. There's also Eat Ice Cream for Breakfast Day. Now, how did this come about? Happy National Eat Ice Cream for Breakfast Day. Surprisingly, this holiday was invented in New York in the middle of the winter in the 1960s. The day is further proof that you can eat ice cream at any time of the year, any time of the day, and on any occasion.
Would you try that?
I'll eat ice cream
in the morning?
Ice cream and grits for breakfast. I'm going to ice cream and grits. Yeah.
You're going to have the belly. And as we head to the break, we take a look back at the day of Amy in history. On February 18, 1927, the largest ship in the world, the 32,000-ton SS Columbus, called on Nassau with 4,000 tourists on board. Also on this day in 1941, Tony McKay, the Exuma Obeah man, was born in T-Bay, Cat Island.
2022 is a year of positional manifestation.
My God.
I just said something. A year of positional. Now, I know you may have never heard that before. It means, my brothers and sisters, if you are positioned, you are ready for the manifestation. God is going to reveal himself in the lives of people who know their God.
Sundays at 8:30 a.m. on ZNS TV 13.
International organization Save Our Seas recently selected 4 winners for its annual conservation storytelling competition. Crystal Darling caught up with one of those winners who says he drew inspiration from the Bahamas.
Third time's the charm, they say. And that's exactly how it worked out for Canadian marine conservation photojournalist Shane Gross, who won the Save Our Seas Foundation's Ocean Storytelling Photography Grant for 2021. Many of Gross's photos, including the shot of a turtle featured on the cover of the winner palette, was taken here in the Bahamas, a place he's called home for the past decade.
The Bahamas has always had a special place in my heart. My first time in the ocean was in Abaco. My first time scuba diving was in the Exumas, and then I became a dive instructor, and there was a job opportunity on Harbor Island to work as a dive instructor and get my foot in the door in terms of access to the beautiful ocean. It does inspire you.
The age of 4, the future photojournalist was introduced to the ocean during a family trip to Abaco. Fast forward several decades, and Gross published a book entitled The Bahamas Underwater.
I thought, how can I give back to the Bahamas? What can I do to help? Because it's given so much to me. I love the Bahamas. I love the ocean there. It's so beautiful. Of course, with COVID and all that stuff, the timing was just unfortunate. And so, it's delayed us, but it hasn't stopped us. My idea was that I would go around to as many schools as I could and give a presentation about my experiences photographing this book over the years, and then, of course, present and leave a book or two with them.
The advice for aspiring underwater photographers.
We all have an artist within us, and just get in the water and start doing it. Just start shooting. And take your time, be patient. It takes a lot of years. Shooting this book took me from 2012 to 2020. So 8 years I spent. That's how long it took me to get these photos. So it's not going to happen overnight. Be patient, but enjoy it.
Gross says his next big step, to meet with his advisors and mentors for the next assignment.
We're going to choose, we're going to look at the projects that the Save Our Seas Foundation is working on. And we're going to choose a photo story, an assignment for me that I'm going to go to and photograph and try to tell the story about what's happening. We haven't discussed it yet. I don't know what the assignment is going to be about. But the morning when I won, one of the judges called me and his advice was, just don't screw this up. So the pressure's on now to come up with an amazing story.
Well, we're going to give you some information on some simple life hacks, some things you do. And the first one is using chopsticks to pick up chips. Can you use chopsticks?
No, I think I'll crumble with
hands and fingers and fingers and fingers. That's all I use. I don't know about chopsticks, just fingers. Also use a paper clip or hairpin not to lose end of the tape. I've never done that, but I've seen my grandma, did that back in the days.
Back in the 40s?
Yeah, in the 40s. Well, you said you going again telling my age. No, I know, not in the 40s, in the 80s. Well, separate glasses without scratching them.
I think I could do that.
Just use some hot water.
Yeah, I think I could
pour
do
hot
that.
water. Use some hot. So you ready for Entertainment Friday?
Oh, yeah. You ready to get down?
Tyson is in the studio. I may not have a voice like him, but I do have the moves. That's coming up next.